This is to give you an overview of how to write the management option of an extended assignment. Within that, you're going to talk about a change. You're both going to show how you've established that this is the change that needs to happen, and how you have planned to put that change in place. You have a full implementation plan for it. The assignment will be 4,500 words long, the main assignment, and the word limit's taken very seriously. Count from the end of the contents page to the beginning of the bibliography, and don't go over the limit. There will be more to it than that, because there are also appendices. You'll eventually submit 2 documents. The first document is the main assignment, the 4,500 words, and the implementation plan and some of your collated data, and the second document is other documentation that supports and illustrates what you're doing. So the assignment itself breaks fairly neatly into 4 sections, and that's in a way what makes it manageable. Working on any of the sections is an easier size, but you have to keep toggling between the 2 views, between the section that you're on and the view of the whole. We're allowed to give you draft feedback on each of the 4 individual sections, so you upload each section once and get draft feedback on it, and also once on a global version of the assignment. So when you've had feedback on all the individual sections and you're as happy as you can be with your rewrites, you upload one more time and you get a more global draft feedback. There are word count suggestions for the internal sections, but they are not as rigid as the overall word count. They are just suggestions, but they're good suggestions. If you're a long way off them, then you're probably missing something out somewhere or stealing words from a section where you shouldn't be. So it's a good idea to remain within 10% under or over suggested internal word counts. The 4 sections, as you get information back on as you get a draft back on any one section, what you'll find is it will slightly change your ideas about the other sections, and you'll spend the whole time going backwards and forwards between the 2. So you rewriting one section very slightly will make you want to change some of the other sections so that the thing remains a coherent whole. And that's fine. Everything is a draft until the day it's uploaded for final submission to Cambridge. So remember that, remember what you say to your students. Writing is recursive, you're going to go backwards and forwards between the sections and the whole. To get started, the first section is your specialism. You can choose from 4 different specialisms: academic management, marketing, human resources, or customer service. Most people do academic management, but we do occasionally support people through one of the other specialisms. In order to choose the specialism, to write the specialism section, you need to have a general idea of what area you're going to look at to think about what change is needed and how you're going to change things. But you mustn't give the impression that you've already decided, fixed on definite change. So don't start the assignment by talking about, I want to introduce a new testing system. But you need to know what area. If you know that the teachers have been complaining about testing within your school, or the end of term assessments within your school for a long time, and that's what you want to look at, or quite often people state inspection reports if they're in a school that has those. Say this was raised at our last inspection, it's a problem, we have to do something about it. No one has been able to find the time so far. This is the area I want to look at. Or often people are looking at professional development and whether people are being observed, or whether there is input, or the whole variety of different things you can look at. But you need to know what area you're going to look at in the second section in order to be able to choose the first section. If you're going to look at recruiting a wider range of staff for the second section, then you need to be looking at human resources for your specialism. If you're looking at making significant changes in your course in the second section, then you'd be looking at academic management in the first section. So you need to know what you're going to look at, but not exactly, but the area, in order to choose your specialism for the first section. If you're not sure, there are some tasks for you to do in the self-study notes about the specialism section that would help you with this. So the specialism section itself, you need to read about management, and it's kind of a literature review, but with some reference to experience and more practical matters. You need to show you've read around your area, be that human resources or customer service or academic management, refer to reading, and give a sense of what you've gathered from that, what you think is important for someone to bear in mind. Then in the second section, the situation analysis section, you need to work out what the change should be. So you'll be talking to people about the areas where there's a problem or where there seems to be some kind of lack. What do they want? You should be using a couple of different kinds of situation analysis tools. This section also needs reading support, but in this section in particular, it tends to be more internet-based. People use websites like Mind Tools or 12 Managed Business, which present you with different ways of collecting and of analysing data. Yes, a lot of people do use some kind of questionnaire as part of this, but that really shouldn't be the only thing you're doing. You should also be showing how you went on, whether you therefore used your questionnaire results to design an appreciative inquiry sequence, or to do some work with focus groups, or other things of that nature. So in section 2, you show how you've worked out this is the change that you need. By the end of section 2, you've got a clear decision. In section 3, you say, right, this is my change. It's made of A, B, and C, and it will be good for the language teaching organisation because of this. And you connect your change to the language teaching organisation objectives and support that with reading usually about strategic management, maybe a little bit also about change management. And you also talk through how it could impact on the stakeholders, and you established who they were in section 2. And then in the last section, you need to read about theories of change management, how people think you should bring changes into organisations if you want them to be successful. Once you've decided what your approach will be, then you can make a change management plan. And it's quite a detailed plan. Effectively, you're trying to write a plan so that someone could pick it up, walk into your organisation and make the change. And it might cover a period of a couple of months with different people doing different things. Sometimes it's just one big detailed plan. Sometimes it's a series of plans that work together. So some people like Gantt charts with roles and responsibilities charts and so on. Others just want to have one more detailed change implementation plan. You design the plan, you put the plan in as an appendix, and then you spend section 4 talking about how your plan works and why this approach is the best one, why this plan fits with this change, fits with your organisation, and so on. And each time as you get feedback on what you're doing, you'll find it will help you to mould the whole, to shape the whole into something that comes across as a nice, clear change that could actually be implemented in your organisation.